What's up, guys? It's your girl. I'm back with another video for you guys. Right now I'm getting ready to do a new interview with a PR. Her name is Lydia. Hi Lydia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to click the link, but it's not working.
You can also do it over the phone. The benefit to Zoom is that sometimes the audio quality is a little better when I like to record it so that I can go back later, and sometimes the recording is better on Zoom. But since we're already on the phone, if it's more convenient, we can definitely just do it over the phone if you prefer.
Okay, we can do that. Yes, that's totally fine.
One moment. Did you recently change your name?
I was K-Star before.
I guess Rob had your old name down and he kept calling you K-Star, and then
Yes, it's been a recent change.
you just wanted something different.
Well, originally I had K-Star since I was 18. Like, that was like the brand that I've been building for, you know, since I started being an artist. Recently, you know, working with Rob and Wealth Nation and everything, they wanted to start trademarking everything, and so he asked me, have you ever researched the trademark for K-Star? And I told him, I said, that's something that I always worried about, because there's so many other different companies outside of music that have K-Star as a brand. There's other artists, you know, that spell it differently, like they'll add an extra R or something like that. So Rob just said, for my best interest, you know, to protect myself later on down the line, like, to change it, because change is something that I think is more unique, whereas I won't have to worry about like a lawsuit or anything for using that name.
It's always easier for people to find you too if you stand out.
Yeah.
So where did the Lene come from?
So Lene, that's my middle name, Lynette, L-Y-N-E-T-T-E. That's how I originally spell it, but I shortened it to L-E-N-E, you know, for just to be simple.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
So where are you from originally? I guess where are you based now?
I'm originally from New Jersey. I'm from the Jersey Shore, and then I moved to Atlanta in 2012 to pursue my music career, and I pretty much started speaking at schools in New Jersey and Philly, and I used to perform and, you know, speak at middle schools and high schools and perform and things like that. And then we ended up moving to Atlanta, and we did the same thing with the radio station Hot 107.9, and we did that for 2 years. And
okay. Was Atlanta where you kind of were getting your career started, or was that just kind of a stop along the way in your career?
I just feel like Atlanta kind of built me up and prepared me for the industry, because being on tour with Hot 107.9, I met a lot of people in the industry for the first time. And you know, coming from where I come from, it's a really small town. So to leave my small town and go to Atlanta was a huge step for me. I feel like I grew, you know, I grew up in Atlanta, like as an adult. Like, I started growing as a person and like trying to find myself in Atlanta. And that's pretty much what I would describe, like, me finding myself is in Atlanta.
How would you describe your music to others, and like what genre would you classify yourself in?
Well, when I first started writing music, I was a kid. I was, you know, in church singing, and I started writing gospel songs when I was 9 with my cousin in church.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you. And then as I got older, I started listening to more R&B music, and I started writing like R&B songs. And then as I got to high school, I went to a technical high school, got exposed to like different genres of music, like rock, techno, EDM, all kinds of stuff, and I loved it. Pretty much that's like the Jersey Shore culture. That's the type of sound, you know what I mean, you hear. So I started writing like EDM music, and like that was like the first couple songs that I started releasing. It was more like pop EDM music. I moved to Atlanta, you know, I kind of still kept that sound, but then I started like incorporating R&B into it, so it was like pop R&B.
Nice. So you kind of had an evolution of sound.
Yeah, for sure.
How would you describe your music? Like, what would you tell someone that are like, tell me what you sound like?
I honestly write music from my heart, you know, like that's the honest truth. I just feel like the beats that I really I feel like I connect more with are like up-tempo tracks, tracks that you can dance to, tracks that you can, like, you know, you feel the music, you know. I love writing tracks like that.
Awesome.
Cause I love to dance. That's my thing, you know.
I like to dance too.
Really?
Like a lot, yeah.
It's like the best feeling, right?
Yeah, I love going to shows and listening to live music and feeling the beat take over my whole body and moving to it.
Yes, seriously, you can feel it. It's like when you feel it, it's like, oh my gosh, it puts you in a whole nother world.
Oh, for sure. When and how did you first become interested in music? I know you mentioned, you know, doing gospel music when you were younger. Was that kind of the first time that you started really being drawn to it? Were there earlier experiences?
Yeah, like my mom said she just remembered me being 4 years old, just always wanted to sing with the choir. Like I would just go up there and just sing, and I just fell in love with music. I remember just hearing my dad blast Michael Jackson and all these different singers, and seeing girls sing and dance, like, and I was like, I want to be like that. Like I love that. I love to dance, I love to sing, I love to write music. Like this is what I love to do, like as a hobby at first, you know. And cause me and my cousin, we used to make up dances when we were little. We used to sing in front of our family at functions, and we just did it as we were kids, you know. I felt discouraged as a kid to like really take it seriously. Like I did it for fun because I loved it, but I always knew I wanted to pursue it, but I just didn't have the confidence to.
So when did you start shifting from looking at music as a hobby and start thinking of it as more of a professional career? What was that transition like?
The transition came when I was 16 and my mom heard me singing in my room. She knocked on my door and I had asked for a camera for Christmas that year so I could start posting videos on YouTube. She asked to hear one of the little snippets that I wrote, and she just, ever since that day, it's like she just like took me seriously. She went to her job, she found this guy who had a studio, and she was like, my daughter, you know, she's trying to, you know, pursue music, like she's trying to post videos on YouTube and she needs a studio. So my mom is the first person who actually got me in the studio recording when I was 16. So if it wasn't for her, I just feel like I wouldn't have had the confidence to keep going, you know. She drove me to New York and I did America's Got Talent. I mean, I didn't make it onto the show, but for me that was a huge step to just sing like in front of people, because I just wasn't, I needed to build my confidence up, you know, to pursue it. That was like a major transition of saying like, okay, I really can do this. Like after that I did another talent show the next year, my senior year in high school, and that's when like I got like a standing ovation from all my peers. They were like, we didn't even know you can sing, you know, where is this coming from?
How did you start, so was that the America's Got Talent experience when you started thinking that like you could really do it for real, or was it before, like when your mom started taking you to the studio?
It was all of that combined. It was my mom, yes, like it was my mom stepping in and saying, you know, taking that step to actually get me in the studio, her driving me to New York, and then a combination of the 2 talent shows that I did in high school, all of that combined was like, it catapulted me into like really pursuing it full throttle.
Awesome. What was your first experiences in the studio like?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Like, you know, because I just wrote songs from my heart. I was a teenager, so I wasn't like the best writer, but but I just wrote songs that like I related to at the time.
Did you record music that you put up online anywhere? Did you share the music you were creating then with people?
Yeah, I remember putting it on MySpace. when MySpace was up.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yes, that was a long time ago.
Awesome. What was that like? What kind of feedback did you get?
Honestly, shortly after I put them up, I met my manager, and he was just like, you know, that's not the sound that we're going for. He actually put me in this whole artist development situation, so the songs weren't up for long. I ended up taking them down, and he pretty much just helped me rebrand everything. So when I was 18, that's when I, you know, was working with my first manager.
How did your sound change?
I would say it changed. I wouldn't say that it actually changed though. Like, it kind of was the same sound. It's just my writing got better.
Okay, so
I was
just kind of developed and evolved.
Absolutely.
So did you have any other guidance in making music? Did you take any classes anywhere? Have you been formally trained anywhere else outside of the studio?
Yes, so when I was 18, I actually went to college for music. I was studying music as my major. It helps a lot because I just learned about the history of music and the background and how it was created, and you know, it just pretty much like it takes you through literally the bottom layer of music, and then it builds you up. So I felt like I was just educating myself on everything.
That sounds like it was probably a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm very passionate about music, so everything about it I'm interested in, like, and especially learning new things about it.
What was the official major that you were studying under?
So my first year was music. That's literally what it was. I was a music major, so I was learning the fundamentals of music, you know, learning how to read music, write music, the history, music history. Those were like my classes. And then my second year though, my dad actually wanted me to change my major. I ended up changing it to business management, and I started learning about business and entrepreneurship, which I feel like is gonna help me with my endeavors in music also, because I learned how to read contracts and things like that, which helps me, you know, with the business side of music also.
Do you play any instruments, or are you solely focused on vocals?
No, I don't play any instruments. My grandpa gave me a guitar, and I did guitar lessons for a while, but I just never stuck with it, so
yeah. I
plan on later on going back and like mastering it later, because I love the guitar. I think it's such a cool instrument.
Yeah, I agree. I like string instruments a lot.
Yes, it's so cool. Especially going to see like a live band and you see them on a guitar. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, it's a whole other element for sure. So when you were first getting interested in music, I know you mentioned like Michael Jackson and Christina Aguilera as like some of your influences. Were there other artists or made like albums that had a huge impact on you?
They made a huge impact. So Aaliyah, like when I was like 9-10 years old, like, well, I grew up, Michael Jackson first and foremost was the artist that I absolutely loved as a kid. My dad used to blast Jackson 5, all the Christmas songs, you know, I just thought Michael Jackson was amazing. So that's first and foremost. But then when I actually became like 9 and 10, like that's when I started seeing Aaliyah, this artist named Aaliyah. She was an R&B singer, and she can sing and dance, and I just loved her image. I loved how she carried herself. I loved just her overall, her music. So when I saw her, I just fell in love, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is, if I love to sing and dance, but I want to be like her. You know, like that was like, she was it for me. And that's when I was like, I want to be an artist like her, you know.
She was wonderful. I remember some of her music videos still. So have you collaborated with any other artists performed with anyone? I don't know if you've done much performing in your career yet.
Well, yeah, I've performed a lot, but as far as collabing with artists, no, I haven't collabed with any artists yet. I really wanted to just focus on my own sound and just, you know, and I still am. So that's pretty much what I've been focusing on. I just been focusing on, you know, putting out projects on my own and just evolving my sound.
What kind of projects have you released so far in your career? Any like major milestones, albums?
Yes, so actually when I was in Atlanta, I separated from my management in 2014, and I just decided to write about my experiences. I named that project Heart of a Leo because my zodiac sign is a Leo, and I just believe like the lioness is what I represent like to the core because of everything that I've had experienced on my own, like as far as you know, adversity and just being on my own in a big city pursuing my dreams. I just went through a lot, and I just decided to just write about it. And I shot a 10 music video docu-series about it in chronological order on YouTube. And yeah, that was like a huge deal for me because I actually wrote and opened up about my life, you know.
Yeah, I actually listened to a little bit of that album. I didn't get to listen to the full songs because I was just doing the going through the samples on, I think on Apple Music maybe.
Yes.
It sounded like you had kind of a spoken word part about it where you were talking about your life a little bit.
Yes, like the interludes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I wanted to literally just tell the story in chronological order. So as you listen from track 1, the intro, all the way through, is taking you through each chapter.
What was it like making that album?
It was very emotional because I had to be very vulnerable. And a lot of people don't like to share like the bad parts of pursuing their dream. Like they want to just highlight all the good and, you know, not share all the bad moments, you know. And I think it's important to share the bad moments and be vulnerable because in vulnerability, you can bless someone else with your story and you can encourage someone else, you know, because chasing your dreams is not easy. It's not easy at all. You go through so many different things, especially as you're growing up and you're trying to find yourself, and life just happens, you know, you have to just keep going no matter what. When I was speaking at schools, like I released it, they were my inspiration for even writing that project because here I am 18 to 22 speaking and performing at high schools and middle schools, right? And I'm signing autographs and I'm doing all this stuff, but they don't even know who I am yet. My music wasn't out yet. I didn't feel like they really knew me, and like I'm just like, they don't even know what I'm going through on these school tours. Like I decided to just tell it, you know, this is what I was going through on these school tours. It looked like I was doing something so amazing, I mean, but behind the scenes I was going through personal things, you know. I was in a relationship, you know, with pretty much one of my managers' artists at the time. So we both were on this school tour. It was just a lot of personal things going on that I just wanted to just express in that project.
Sounds very powerful.
Thank you.
How do you think you've grown as an artist over the course of your career and through all the struggles and successes along the way?
I feel like I've definitely grown in regards to my confidence. I'm definitely more confident as an artist, especially in my sound and just knowing like where I want to go and having a vision and plan for my life. My favorite part of being an artist is performing, so being on stage is like my favorite thing to do. So yeah, that's definitely how I've grown.
What do you love about performing and being on stage? Like what things?
I just love connecting with people. I love to see people happy, so I feel like my music is like a reflection of that. Like I like to see people dance, and you know, I just love the connection between music and people, like what it does to you.
What do you think sets you apart from other artists?
What I think sets me apart is I just feel like I have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose to fulfill, and I just feel like through music I could reach so many people, and people wanting to listen to my music, I feel like they will also want to get to know me. And all of the things that I've gone through, I just feel like I can help a lot of people. I feel like that in itself like sets me apart, just being a person that I am, but also just being an artist and being able to express my creativity.
What would you say is the proudest moment in your career, or a particularly proud moment?
A proud moment in my career is definitely moving to LA and performing for the first time out there and seeing the reception that I got. That was a huge moment for me, because I've always wanted to go to LA, and I just always wanted to see how my music would, you know, be received. And the fact that they loved it, you know, let me know like I'm on the right track. My sound is so different because of my upbringing. My upbringing is very diverse, so I write music that's diverse.
Was that LA performance one of your favorite performing memories, or do you have another memory of a performance that really resonated with you?
Well, right before I moved to LA, like I threw a listening party / going away party of my second project, Seasons. And that was a huge moment for me, because that was my first time ever putting together a showcase. That was my first time ever putting together a listening party. And then I invited all my close friends. It was invitation only. And it was amazing because I got to work with my choreographer, my dancers, and they're like my sisters. So like the fact that I put everything together by myself, and then it was a success the way that it was, and just being on stage and performing Seasons for the first time before it even came out, everything about that performance was amazing. So that's like one of the highlights. Seasons is my second EP that I released last summer.
Okay, so in the summer of 2019?
Yes.
Where do you get some of your ideas, and how do you find inspiration for writing when you're writing music?
Honestly, it just comes from my heart. I just write about my experiences, you know? Like whenever I listen to a track, like I feel whatever emotion, and I just go from there. Different tracks bring out different emotions, and then I'll just think of a concept in my head and I'll just write about it.
Well, what do you think, what would you like listeners and fans to take away from your music? What do you hope that they gain?
I honestly just hope that, you know, when people listen to my music, they relate and they're inspired, and hopefully when they listen to my music, they research me and they want to follow me and everything that, you know, I'm doing.
What do you gain from your music? What does it mean to you?
It means everything to me. Being able to express my creativity, my thoughts, is everything to me. It's therapeutic. It's everything. It just makes me happy.
Good. Do you have any short-term or long-term goals as an artist that you want to share?
Well, yeah, touring is definitely something that I want to experience one day. And during COVID and everything like that right now, you know, I don't know when it's gonna be, but that's just definitely something that like I'm looking forward to in the future. Seeing my music reach the masses, you know, seeing it touch the world, that's what I want more than anything.
Would you mind maybe giving me a little rundown of some of your musical experience so far? Like, maybe chronologically when you started some mile markers of, like, releasing your, going to the studio for the first time and releasing your first tracks, your first album, things like that?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I went to the studio for the first time. I recorded a song with my cousin's friend, and then from that point my mom got involved and she put me in the studio, and I started recording just songs that I wanted to put out as a demo. And then I ended up meeting my manager, and he pretty much put me through artist development, and I started putting out songs with him, and he started critiquing my performances. We used to put on shows every summer on Mondays. We called them Magic Mondays in Vineland, New Jersey, and then we ended up doing school tours, and I was performing and speaking at schools in New Jersey and Philly. And then we moved to Atlanta, and we did the same thing for 2 years. And when I left my management, I put out my first project on my own and did a 10 music video docu-series. And then also I released my second project, Seasons. And now I'm working on my third project.
So Seasons, you said that was 2019?
Yes.
So that came out?
Yes.
And I think I saw Heart of Aaliyah. Was that 2016?
Yes. And when I forgot, in 2014 I did release a single, my first ever song called Break Free on Apple Music. So that was the first time I actually put out a song, was in 2014, like an official song, like on all streaming platforms, was in 2014. Yes, so I definitely will be releasing my third project in 2021. So that's what I'm working on right now. I also got signed to a talent agency for singing, dancing, acting, and modeling when I was in LA. And so I've been working on expanding my brand as far as getting into acting. I've been doing monologues for my agent and back and forth from LA. I just went to LA 2 weeks ago for a photo shoot to do headshots for my profiles and things like that. So I've been dibbling and dabbling in acting now. So music is first priority. I'm writing my first project, I'm recording, but also my agents are submitting me for roles and things like that.
I guess, where can fans find your music?
You can find my music on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube.
What do you think is the most important thing for me to include in your artist bio?
I would say the name change is most important, because right now I'm rebranding myself, and to go from K-Star to K Lene is a huge deal to me, because K-Star is a part of my identity. Like, K-Star stands for Stand Tall and Rise, and I came up with that name when I was 18 because, like, I was like, this is deeper than me. Like, you know, I'm a music artist, but I definitely want to make a difference in the world. K-Star has been my identity, you know, for so long. So to have to change my name, you know, is a huge deal for me. But I just feel like I'm evolving as a person and as an artist. And the music that I put out in the future and everything that I do from this point under this new name is just a huge deal. It just represents change, evolution, and progress, you know?
Yeah. I've gotten through pretty much all of my, like, specific questions, but I don't know if there's something that I didn't ask you that you want to tell me about that I should include in the artist bio, anything about your background or growing up or anything in your career?
My background, I guess you could say, like, my musical influences, like, growing up were like Aaliyah, Lauryn Hill, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. They really inspired me to just, you know, want to create music.
Yeah. Those are all awesome artists to look for inspiration. I enjoy all of them. Well, is there any other information that you want fans and promoters to know about you as an artist?
Because I'm in the middle of rebranding myself, I would want them to know that I have in the past made, you know, more of a pop sound, but now I'm actually, you know, I'm reinventing my sound. I guess getting more into like my R&B roots, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered a whole lot of information. I have a lot of great stuff here. I don't know if there's anything else I haven't asked about or anything else you want to talk about.
I think we covered a lot also.
I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. I hope you do too. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I did too.
Awesome. Well, take care. Talk to you again soon then.
Okay, talk to you soon, Lydia.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Alright guys, so I just did my artist bio and I'm excited to see what it's gonna be like because guys, I've been rebranding everything and it's been exciting but also overwhelming because I just feel myself like really evolving and this is different. Like I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't know why I'm like about to cry right now. What's wrong with me? But I'm like stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm doing things that, you know, I would normally do, you know, as far as, you know, now I'm stepping into the acting world, doing monologues, modeling, you know, and then just doing my music. So it's just a lot of different things that I'm balancing right now. And it's a blessing, you know, that God is blessing me with all these different opportunities, you know. I'm just extremely blessed, y'all. You know, I really am. And God is good, you know. I'm very excited for my new music I'm dropping. And stay tuned, y'all. K Lene is on the way. You know, K-Star is no more. K-Star will always be a part of me. Stand tall and rise. That's what STAR stood for, you know. And I still stand for that. Stand tall, rise above adversity. Stand tall and rise above pain. Stand tall and rise above anything that stops you from pursuing your dreams. Stand tall and rise above anyone who discourages you in life. Okay, so K-Star is always in my heart. K Lene is the evolving part of me. I'm evolving as a woman, a young woman. And that's what K Lene is all about. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. And I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye. Thank you for watching.